Let's talk about marketing meetings. Why do they feel so stressful even when you are good at your job? And how to fix them so that as a marketer, you could breathe again. When marketing meetings stress you out, it's not because you are unprepared. It's because you are walking into a situation where your creative work will be judged with no clear criteria. It's not the meeting itself that keeps you up at night. The two following questions live rent-free in your head for days before the actual meeting. Number one, will what I prepared be considered good enough? And number two, will I be able to defend my creative work once the opinions start flying? That's the stress most competent marketers carry with them every day. I know this pattern very well. For years, I could know the product inside out, understand the brief, do the whole work properly, and still feel tense for days before the actual meeting. It peaked for me when I took a week off to go for a short trip to propose to my now wife. Obviously, I have spent that whole week working and worrying about upcoming meetings. Luckily, she still said yes. And I still am an idiot sometimes, maybe a bit less so lately. Working too much wasn't the real problem. Not being able to switch off was. I couldn't fully switch off because I didn't trust that things would go well once my creative work entered the room. And here's what actually creates that pressure. As a marketer, you know your product extremely well. You know all the features it has and all the benefits it leads to. You can talk about it all day. But you also know that simply stacking product features in your message will not impress anyone in the room, nor will it persuade anyone outside of it. So you leave the technical ground behind you and venture off into what we call creative territory, which is where things get risky. Creativity in marketing is not clearly defined. Creativity in marketing means different things to different people. One person means a slogan, another one creative concept. Somebody else is thinking about a visual idea. Zero common ground between them. So to no surprise, the feedback to creative work is extremely subjective. Personal taste and personal opinions instead of clear criteria. That's why stress starts way before the meeting. And the meeting itself is where things really fall apart. You see, when there's no shared structure behind what you are presenting, you end up asking the worst possible feedback question. So guys, what do you think? That's an open question with no frame, no criteria, and no direction. Worse still, it now puts other people under the spotlight. They are the ones that now have to impress everyone in the room. With this question, you are not asking them to evaluate something specific. You are asking them to sound smart and cool and up to date and trendy. And now they have to respond on the spot with zero preparation. So they reach for whatever they have. Personal taste, personal opinions, edge cases, random assumptions. Really, anything goes. Sadly, none of this moves the work forward. And while everyone feels that a lot of things were said, meetings like this end with a sad and predictable conclusion. Let's think about this some more. That sentence puts a timestamp on the time of death for whatever it is you proposed in the meeting. Because, let's be honest, nothing was decided. And while a lot of things were said, you leave to think more with zero clarity on what needs to change. And it's not like you can circle back and clarify. The time for questions was in the meeting. There's a reason why this keeps happening. In marketing, there are 5 different levels you can base your campaign message on. 5 different starting points, all of them on the same persuasion ladder. You can start with features that your product has, the benefits it creates, the problems it solves, how life gets better, and who the audience gets to become. Most marketers comfortably operate in levels 1 and 2, features and benefits. They are factual, they are defensible, they feel safe. But they also know that stacked product features rarely persuade on their own. Marketers enter this ladder from the bottom. They always start with product features. The audience does the opposite. They start at the top of the ladder. They start with, who do I want to become? How do I want my life to get better? What problems do I want gone? So when a message leads with product features, it's asking the audience to translate their relevance on their own, which, considering the current attention span, they obviously won't. Stacking product features is answering questions that nobody has asked for. Your audience is still 4 steps away from caring about the product. So when this starting point feels weak, most marketers venture into creative territory. Not because they want to be creative, but because they feel they have no other option. After all, they are expected to bring something amazing to the meeting. You know what they say, marketers are clowns of the company. They are the ones entertaining everyone around them. Let's be honest, it's hard to put a finger on creativity. Good marketing depends on inspiration. Creativity is a rare gift, a talent that only a few lucky ones have been blessed with. All of this makes preparation extremely stressful. On one hand, you have to deliver something creative. On the other, there's no tangible process behind it. You cannot rely on inspiration on demand, and you cannot schedule productive creativity. But there's some good news. For most marketers, the alternative to features is not creativity. It's the remaining 3 levels of the persuasion ladder. The persuasion ladder doesn't just give you one way forward. It gives you 5 legitimate starting points, each one more and more relevant than features, and without requiring any inspiration. Let me make this concrete. Let's say that I'm working with a small software as a service product, which helps marketers craft their campaign message. When I fall back to the persuasion ladder, it gives me 5 distinctive starting points for the whole campaign. I could start at the feature level. This software helps marketing teams document their campaign decisions in one convenient place. Alternatively, I could start with the benefits. This software saves marketers time by reducing the back and forth. My third option is to start at the problem level. This software reduces marketing chaos that comes from unclear campaign starting points. My fourth option is the how life gets better level. This software makes marketing work feel calmer and more predictable. And finally, we have the audience transformation option. This helps marketers breathe again when their creative work is being judged. Same product, 5 completely valid starting points. And none of these require any creativity. Once you see this, the preparation changes. You are no longer waiting for inspiration to strike to come up with some creative ideas. You choose a level, you define one sentence, and everything else builds from there. You no longer feel blocked, you no longer feel pressured to come up with something creative with no processes to fall back on. You feel oriented. This is not anti-creative. If you want to add a creative layer on top, you can, and now it will have a solid ground to stand on. With the persuasion ladder as a starting point, creativity becomes safer, simpler, and more focused. Because now creativity no longer carries the weight of relevance on its own. So as you see, structure does not kill creativity. It actually protects it. And this is where marketing meetings change. You are no longer presenting an idea. You are presenting a clear response to a specific problem for a specific audience from your chosen starting point. When the meeting comes, you can explain the whole train of thought in under a minute. And when it's finally time for feedback, it has something to attach to. There's less opinion drifting. And most importantly, less "let's think about this some more." You are no longer putting other people under the spotlight. So the confirmation decisions become lighter. Not because people magically agree more, but because now you share one common ground. Everybody's on the same page on what needs to be done and why it needs to be done using this specific approach. This removes both types of stress. You are calmer before the meeting because you know what you are bringing, and you are calmer during the meeting because you can easily explain why it exists, not emotionally, structurally. As the result, marketing meetings stop feeling like a gamble. They start feeling predictable. So as a marketer, you can breathe again. This channel is about marketing clarity. I've spent over 20 years in marketing and made all the mistakes so you don't have to. I'll share the thinking and the processes that help me stop guessing in marketing meetings and start trusting my decisions. And if they helped my past self, they will help other marketers who feel capable but tense too. So if that's you, you're in the right place. Thanks for watching. Until the next one.